Welcome to another episode of the APL Spotlight Series. Seriously incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences, and much more to share with all of us. I like to say, hey, they've got just huge hearts, incredible vibes, or high frequency that they're meant to share. They're on their unique life path and they're passing along what they've learned, or they literally touch somebody and help them get over the fence and get going with living more and loving more. I think that's what this is all about. We have a lot of healers on and others. We've had an actor from Sea Patrol. I keep mentioning him, Captain Mike Flynn. If you watch it on Amazon Prime, Australian Royal Navy. That's actor Ian Stenlake. We've had a White House physician to the U.S. president, youngest Delta Force operator, a CNBC anchor, Good Morning America reporter, you name it. But one of our subspecialty areas is near-death experiences. We've had Dr. Yvonne Kaysan on a few times out of Canada, 5 near-death experiences there. Ingrid Hankala, 3. Michelle Claire, 3. I don't think the number matters. Sometimes just one near-death experience, as our guest is going to tell us, can bring you a lot of death practice, we'll call it. Well, coming to us today from Utah is just seriously one of the most wonderful people on the planet. She's highly intuitive and still getting settled into what her future role will be as a healer for all of us. If we're lucky, she's going to share a little bit about the future for her. But she has a book out, Miracles from the Other Side. She's been sort of on the book tour, doing speaking engagements, both online and also physically in person, and it's Heather Vandermeyden. And
Mhm.
Heather and I've met before. I plan to have her back as long as she'll be willing to come back on the show as often as possible. Definitely, you'll expect to see her in 2026. Heather, great to see you again.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Look, you have had quite the lifetime. You've had tons of details here. Can you sum it up for us at the 20,000 foot level for people? What happened?
Yeah. So I developed ulcerative colitis when I was about 20, and I wasn't responding to treatment. I ended up in the hospital for 3 months in intensive care. And over a 3-week period, I had multiple near-death experiences. We counted more than 20, and it changed my life. It took away the feeling of fear of dying, but they were also such profound experiences that I kept it quiet for a long time because it felt too sacred to me to put out there. But I feel like in the last couple of years that the world's ready to hear this kind of stuff. And I'm here to tell people that we don't need to be afraid of death and share some of my experiences that can hopefully help others.
Well, I love it. And again, you and I have spoken before, and I'm automatically just a massive fan. What can you tell us about angels? It's part of the title of the show. We're going to just come in at different attack angles here. What about angels? Did you get to meet a few? And what do you think
Yeah.
about angels?
Oh, they're incredible. Yeah, quite a few experiences. I had the gift of over 3 weeks just being able to pop in and out of my body because I was so critical. And one of those times, there were angels there's two, a man and a woman, that were ministering to patients in the shock trauma unit of the hospital I was in. And I was able to go with them to the rooms of the patients and watch them lay their hands on the shoulders of the family members, but also the patient. And just you could see the light go from them through their arms, down their hands to the patient and the family, and just provide that healing love for them. It was just the coolest thing to watch. There was so much love in the room, and to be a part of that, even from the sidelines, was just a really memorable experience. It changed how I felt about what was happening around us, and especially me in the hospital. I knew there were more angels in the room than I have ever understood. So that was one of the experiences.
Let's go back to the man and the woman for just 1 second.
Yeah.
First, can you describe them a little? There aren't a lot of shows out there that are going to have you just go back and maybe paint the picture a little more. And then
Mhm.
also, I am hoping no one's asking you this for the next 2 years, or I'm hoping they will actually. Can you describe the light? What was it? And what did it feel like? Were you seeing it, but feeling it, but both? How do you want to try to capture this with words, even though this is impossible?
Yeah, it's hard. There really isn't words. They were an older couple, and obviously they were like angels. They weren't, humans like we are, but they looked like an older couple. Um, the woman was a little bit more plump, and she had white hair with a little bun on her head and a kind of a ruffled type of apron. She was just cute. She reminded me of a grandmother type figure. The man was a little bit tinier, just kind of a smaller frame in a way. He wasn't really tall and older looking, but they just radiated this love around them. They looked really healthy. So to me, they looked older, but they felt like they were healthier than anyone I knew. And the light, it was just this, it was alive. It was full of healing energy. And it was so, like, it was almost like static in the room because it was so strong. And it was just this fast light that went from them to the patient or the family. And at one point, I watched as the mother and father of this young person and the son, brother was sitting there, and the light went into them, and they kind of jostled because they were holding onto their shoulder. So I don't think they understood what it was, but I think that they felt the love that was being given to them and the comfort because it was a pretty dire situation, and so to feel that comfort even just for a minute, I think was a gift to them, even if they didn't know what was happening.
Now, like I promised, this interview is a little bit like a spinning top. So here's another way to approach all this. Do you think love, first of all, is the fabric of the universe? And second, how do you explain it's almost like a Middle Eastern expression out of that Sean Connery, Candice Bergen movie, The Wind and the Lion, when they reference, or even Lawrence of Arabia, some stuff is written in life. And there's a big Middle Eastern overtone there. Some stuff's not. So it's adjustable, it's alterable. Angels are really helpful there. First, is love the fabric of the universe?
Absolutely. It's everything.
Okay, but how do you know? And no one's going to ask you that. So give us three reasons why it's so. There's someone coming in who's having a hard time, their brain's in the way, and they're like, well, wait. All this is happening to me. My problem is, my situation is. They need to hear the three reasons why it's so.
So I think we were sent here to love others, and we lose sight of that. Um, a lot of people think, well, I'm here to get the biggest house, the most money, and that's not really what it is. It's how we treat others and the kindness and the service that we do for others. And by doing that, it grows the amount of love in this world. It just expands it. And everyone here, everyone struggles. No one leaves this life easily. And by giving that love and service to others, it helps them feel love as well, but maybe they give that to someone else. It's kind of like a pay it forward effect. What you give is expanded exponentially to the next person. And if we had more of that went around, imagine how different this world would be. So a lot of people do struggle and they don't feel like they are loved or that they're alone. And that breaks my heart because that's just life is it's hard and busy. But when you feel that love, you don't feel so alone.
Do you have an example of unexpected sharing of love in the last 3 weeks, daily life? It could have been the stranger to you, kind words, or you could have been helping someone else out, or just mindfulness in the moment.
Yeah, well, I can think of a lot, but I was at the grocery store and there was a woman with a small baby and she had way too many shopping bags in her cart and she couldn't hold the baby and get the cart to her car at the same time. So I offered to help her with her groceries. And what I wanted to say is, let me hold your baby. It's really cute. But thought it was kind of overstepping it. But yeah, just helping her get the groceries to the car, into the car while she held onto her baby was probably, I remember having small kids and trying to carry a car seat. Is it not working?
It faded a little, but you're good. We could hear you. It's back,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. So I remember being a mom of young kids and trying to, maneuver them in the grocery store and stuff and feeling like I needed more help that I couldn't ask for. And so just that small, that was to me was not much of anything, probably helped her a lot to feel not alone. So there's little things we can do like that throughout our day, even holding a door open for someone. That
So we think everything is at this level, but it's quite often much broader, which brings us
yeah.
to the last part of that question, which is some stuff is written in life. You were meant to have a certain experience at a certain time, like a waypoint on your unique life journey. And angels are actually there, I believe, to help you get to that waypoint. There's certain stuff you signed up for. So you might
Oh
be in
yeah.
Toledo, but you're supposed to be in Bali, and they get you to Bali to experience it. And that may not be a geographic thing. But talk to us about what's written and what's not written. And now, what is your understanding of the big picture that way?
Yeah. So at the time that I had my NDE, I was pretty angry. I was completely healthy, and here I am thrown into this world of chaos and pain constantly. you know, uprooted from my home for 3 months in the hospital, and there was a lot of anger. I thought, why is this happening to me? And over time, as I've healed and really understood it more, it wasn't what was happening to me, it was happening for me. What was so scary at the time has changed every aspect of my life. And I think that certain things are supposed to happen for us in this life, but there's also that free agency to change other things as well. Like my guide could tell me, you need to do this, and I'll say, no, no. And so that's my free agency to say no. So I don't think everything is 100% written in stone, but there are certain trials or joys in our life that were meant to happen to further us along in our life.
Was there a moment in life when you look back that you realized it was angels that literally got you over the fence on it? Maybe it was just taking a certain class because that professor, you're going to meet your best friend in the class, but you were like, nah, I don't want to take that class. The next thing you know, you're taking the class, you meet your best friend. Do you have anything you can look back on in life and now it makes more sense? Or did you get a life review at some point where you were like, oh, oh, oh?
Yeah, so I never got a life review, which is probably fine because that seems kind of scary to me to judge myself. But one of the yeah, there's been so many experiences since because I had a guide with me throughout all of the NDs and he never left. He's still here. And so sometimes he'll be like, you need to be here at this time, and I'll think no. And the voice is very, very strong. You need to do this. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to. And it's present until I'm finally like, okay, okay. And if I do, it always works out the way it's supposed to. So 100% of the time that I'm guided to do something, there is a reason for it. I've met people in my life that way that I wouldn't have met otherwise that were supposed to be there. So hundreds of examples of when I listen. And if I don't, he's going to sit and bug me until I do. So,
I like it. Tell
yeah.
us a little bit about the guide, what you feel comfortable sharing out loud. Angel, spirit guide, other. I mean, there's a bunch of love and above, first of all. And
Mhm.
then how much humor do you get? And are you able to just sort of basically anytime, anywhere, be like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah, so he definitely was with me at every point of the hospital, and I'm a really sarcastic person. Like I have probably a pretty twisted sense of humor, especially when you're in an environment like that, you learn to laugh instead of cry. And so I laugh at things that are probably I shouldn't. But I feel like my guide has that same kind of sense of humor too. And so it's kind of a joking friendship in a way. But yeah, he's been there throughout just small things like, for example, after my NDE. I knew that I was going to be getting divorced. It was happening right then and there, and I was terrified. I didn't want to get divorced, and I didn't know how I was going to take care of my kids by myself financially and just 100% by myself. And he very strongly said, "This is going to happen. It needs to happen, and there will be people to help you." And so I signed the papers against every part of my body was screaming, "This is scary." And it was meant to happen. It was the best experience that could have happened. He's guided me throughout it and protected me. And I was able to let go of the anger and heartache. And I have a really good relationship with my ex-husband now. It took some forgiveness on my part, but things that we don't understand at the time, I feel like they're kind of guiding us towards. And so I can look back now on that and be okay with how it worked out. Or at the time I was like, I'm not going to sign those papers, or but he kept pushing, saying, do it, So
Looking back, what percentage of your circle of friends, family, and others, without naming any, what percentage back when you were 20 to 22, the first couple of years of having gone through this, didn't understand the changes in you and maybe faded more or it shifted versus today in the last 5 years, has the percentage like grown for who's accepting you or things have shifted? I mean, you give somebody 20 years, 15 years, they can sometimes come around. So,
yeah.
can you give us, without any specific names or roles or people, just generically what that answer is?
So I was really lucky. My family knew what was happening while I was in the hospital. I was telling them what I was seeing when I was verbal. And so they took it as they understood it and they were very, very supportive because I was giving them specific information that I wouldn't have known otherwise. So I never had anyone turn their back on me, I guess you could say. I had a really good support group. But now that we have the internet more than this was back in 2000, I'm able to find people online, but I'm also really involved in IONS,
Mhm.
and I'm on the board of directors for the Utah chapter. And so, because of that organization, oh my gosh, what a gift! I have met the most incredible people that have these experiences that they're not the same as mine, they're all different. But I feel this peace because I'm not the only one that experienced it, and I have people I can talk to now. And so my group of people has just grown exponentially. And I love hearing other stories from those that have also passed over for, a minute. And so my support group has definitely gotten much bigger. It's like a tribe of wonderful people.
And IANDS, if I got it right, the
Yeah.
acronym is International Association of Near-Death Studies. Did I get that right as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were supposed to, and may still have, I think it's Sean Leather in Hawaii who's head of that one,
Huh? Yeah.
Hawaii's. And we have had others who participate on the show. I'm just a blank right now as to who, but people can look up on my website. If you go to the michaelandreford.com website, hit the APL show, you can see like record albums for each show. Click on that and you go to the actual show. So we've really had a lot of near-death experience people. And here's your moment right now. What has already resonated? What have you liked about Heather's sharing here? An emoji counts, and this is a great time to even put a question down because in the months and years ahead, you never know. We're always peeking at this stuff. Okay, Heather, let's ask another way to look at the spinning top or the different ways we can go at this. Did you pick up certain skills from then on? Like, I'll have to just throw one out. Seeing auras on people. Were you already seeing auras when you were 17 on people? Did it happen every Tuesday? Was it make it stop, make it stop? Was it whenever you really let go and felt into the situation?
Yeah, so before my experience, I was raised in a really strict religious household, and I kind of pushed away from it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the control of it. And so I wasn't really what you consider spiritual. Like I said my prayers at night, but that wasn't really a significant part of my life in my mind. Afterwards, completely changed. Very, very much more spiritual. Um, I I'm an empath, and so I can feel people's energy. And sometimes, oh my gosh, they have such chaotic energy. I cannot be in the room with them.
Hmm.
It's really, really strong. But I can also feel people's sadness. So a lot of things I can tell what's going on with them without them saying it. And so that's a curse and a blessing because sometimes it's pretty suffocating.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about this. And I've got to just say, I've been having white light on you for like two-thirds of the interview, and I'm getting white balls of light flying by here, which is cool. So we're on to something. Can you talk to us about when it's helpful or when it's kicked in? Maybe you didn't ask for seeing like an aura on someone. And where are you on appreciating it, allowing for it more when it's appropriate, and so on? Just do you mind diving in a little more?
Yeah, so I don't see auras. I I feel presence more than I see. Sometimes I'll see little things, but mostly I have the knowing that they're there. I can hear what's being said. And I've had like a friend that passed away that comes through pretty frequently. Very, very strong energy. And I just, these conversations we have, she still has her fun sense of humor. It's pretty amazing to still have that closeness with her. But unfortunately, I don't see the presence so much, and I wish I did. But I think we all come back with different gifts, and mine's more of the audio.
Well, I think we've taken steps before. I'm usually a blank on what we've done, but we can use this as a background and see light, colored light, and stuff like that. We'll play around later, maybe some angels too. Um, What's a big message before we go on any more, taking a look at your experiences or the book or what's going on in the future for you? What are three takeaways for everybody to know just right now for their own personal life? How can they at least slow their roll more, maybe butter it and have a delicious roll? What's the way they can have more fun, show love always right now in life?
So I think we need to be more present in the now. We're so confused or worried about what happened before, what's happening in the future, that we're not present in the now. And so we need to kind of take a deep breath and enjoy what's happening now. I don't think we appreciate it as much as we know. Like I remember the first few years after my divorce. Looking at it now, I miss that simple time, but at the time it was really scary. But we're not appreciating at the time what we should sometimes, I think. So that's one thing, to be present. Another is be mindful. take time each day, even if it's just a few minutes, to be appreciative of what you have. Always find what I do is I find one thing every single day that I'm grateful for. Even if I've had the worst day of my life, I'm going to say, okay, well, at least I woke up and I could walk. So there's always something to be grateful for. And third, just it's more of being grateful, but find your friends, your tribe, and your group of people and involve them in your life. You're going to get experiences from these other people that you need in your life. And so by going out there and being social and, giving your love to others, it's going to come back twofold to you.
I love that last one, especially. Okay. What have you noticed with what people are telling you? It could be a speaking engagement, book signing. It could be just at the coffee shop, tea shop, and someone feels your energy. They might data dump on you, but they tell you something. And what is the pattern of what people have consistently been telling you all these years? Um, that is a compliment, essentially. What have you noticed as a collective pattern on what you're receiving from other human beings?
Yeah, a lot of times I'll be told you're easy to talk to and you understand and you listen. And I love hearing stories from people. I'm not special. Like a lot of people have had experiences like this, and they just need someone to talk to understand and listen. And so that's what I'm here for a lot of times. And it's always fun to gain a new friendship from someone you don't even know. I've had people reach out through social media or just from the book, and they become really, really good friends. And I wouldn't have known them otherwise if I hadn't taken the time to get to know them.
What do people need to know about your book?
I never wanted to write it. So I'm really surprised that it's out there. I didn't talk about this in public for 20. Oh, can
It
you hear me?
faded.
Oh, shoot, I don't know why it's doing that. Can you hear me now?
It's still a little faded, so I'm gonna just tell a dad joke real fast and let's
Okay.
get okay. So Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. Okay, let's see. Do you have a way to jiggle the microphone at all?
It's just the laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear it better now?
It's a little like 1% better, but
It's like 100%.
oh, now it's coming back.
Okay. I
Okay,
live in the mountains and we don't get good Wi-Fi, so that might be what the problem is.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us more. Take us in any direction right now. And if you need a new topic, the next one's going to be about angels, angel encounters, and even in human form.
Okay. Do you want me to finish about the book thing or?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't talk about my experience in public for about 23, 24 years. And then I was asked to speak at IANS and I did. And I was terrified. And I'd been writing the book, but it was more for me to understand what happened to me and to heal. And all these experiences came together. The people that needed to be involved just started showing up. Like, here I am, editors, cover designers. And suddenly the book was out. And I thought, I don't want to put myself out there. It's being so vulnerable. But oh my gosh, it's been fun. I actually am quite proud that it's out there. And I had so many positive feedback messages from people that needed to know that they are okay once they pass and that they know their loved ones are okay. And so that to me is the most important thing. It's not about the sales of the book. It's done well, but that's not what it's about. It's about helping even one soul to feel love and comfort. So I think it's doing that.
It's on Amazon. What's it cost again? And then one more, just if you could plug it one different way, something creative. Why do people need to go get this right now? I need you to be more the book publisher or your agent, not the shy side who's like, well, yeah. So how much does
Yeah.
it cost? And it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on
Miracles.
Amazon. It's you can get it anywhere. You can order online through Barnes& and Noble, Walmart, Target, everywhere. It's 16.99 for the hard or paperback, and then hardback is 19.99.
Okay.
Um, the book talks about a lot more than just NDEs. There's some pretty vulnerable parts in there that I was like, this is embarrassing to put out there, but some of them made me laugh when I look back at it now. There's one certain chapter that I was like, this is a lot to put in there, and my ex-husband's probably going to kill me for putting it in, but it's funny. And so it talks about, healing grief, coming away from experiences and appreciating and understanding and forgiveness, but also letting go of the control. And it's a fun book. It has my personality, which is again kind of twisted. So it's not just I died and came back. There's laughter in it as well. And I didn't know how people would appreciate that, but it's me. It's who I am, and it worked.
Pretty much all of us are walking around with my problem is, my situation is, this is my reality, or I'm not there yet on something. That could be an athlete, a musician, it could be a healer or their business model. Talk to us about how all of this is always, there's always room for growth. It's always an opportunity to expand. Give us your pep talk that you're going to be giving a lot more in the future on this exact point.
Yeah, it's what I tell my son. He's 24 and he's like, he expects that he has this big house and, they should be ready in the world. And I always say, you're so young and you can even start your life over in your 40s. You're never where you have to stay. You don't have to stay stagnant. There's always room for improvement. And if you don't like where your life is, change it. I quit the legal field earlier this year. Scary, it paid all the bills, but it wasn't what I wanted. And so here I am going out into a different area completely. But it's exciting. So even things that are scary for us, they can bring a lot of positive change and growth for us.
Okay, so either three Native American chiefs or angels, I forget everything, once said focus on improvement, not on results. Can you
Yeah.
say it a different way one more time? Let's go back, circle around. Focus on improvement, not on results. Either give us a specific example where you took that advice, or let's go big picture. Let's have you go Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra on us and say it a different way. That's you. I mean, Heather, you're very motivational.
Yeah, I think we just need to not be scared. Like take that big jump, take that big leap, take the vacation, put yourself out there. You're going to gain experiences that you wouldn't have had otherwise that could change your entire life. You could be thinking you're going to be one thing and you end up being a completely different person because you took that one little step forward that was scary. And look where it put you in your life in a completely different mindset. So don't be scared, just take that jump. The way I kind of think that I like to do hang gliding, you literally run off a mountain and you're gliding over the valley. It's this mind like adrenaline rush like no other. But if you don't take that first step, you're never going to get that rush. So, yeah, don't be scared.
And by taking those steps, you're also giving the universe an avenue in, giving
Yeah.
the universe and angels an opportunity to actually take steps on your behalf or make situations arise for you. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get on to angels. And have you had a face-to-face encounter with maybe an angel in human form, one way or the other? Could be dream time, obviously, and then during your time in your 20s. Um, which one comes to mind that you would want to share first?
We can talk about my friend Diane. She was in a coma, and one night I woke up and it was 1:11 on the clock, and that's important to me because I see ones and 11s and stuff. And all of a sudden, she'd been in the coma for 3 days, and I was pretty upset over it. And I felt this warmth that started and just slowly moved through my body and then circled me in this warmth. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. It took away all the sadness and the pain of wondering if she was going to survive or die. And the next thing I know, I'm up for a few minutes and I fall asleep. And suddenly I see her in a dream and she's sitting next to me and she's just glowing, glowing with love. And I can see my guide and my mom is there as well. My mom knew her. And she told me these experiences that she'd had on the other side. And she was just so healthy. And my guide said to me, whether she survives or not, it's up to her. And you're going to be okay either way. And ultimately, she did not survive. She passed away a couple of days later. And she's been around me ever since. Very, very strong, profound angel, like more strong than any I've dealt with. But I feel like I can have these conversations with her still. She's not here in physical form, but she's here in spiritual form. And so I always say, she's my guardian angel. She's still with me. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Are
it's
you ready to take
amazing.
some steps with the universe? I'll just light some sage, blow some sage. We've done this at least twice before. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, then all you have to do is watch most of the shows. I forget sometimes. And once in a while we get a guest who just, it's a linear interview and you can't tell anybody anything and you don't want to force anybody to do anything. So if you want to catch a little lit sage, I'm going to light sage. Where am I? Texas. It doesn't matter where you are. Christchurch, New Zealand, London, England, Japan, Utah. And you're going to hopefully take a stab at this in a little bit, which is why time and space isn't even what we think it is. All our structure, all our limits, where we're putting our focus. Remember the big house chasing after stuff. That's not what this is about at all. And so we're going to kind of show it here. You knew it as a high school student or a university class. The professor was the worst or the best. That 1 hour either went by in 15 minutes or it took 2 hours. It was never going to end. Or time slowed down. You really enjoyed the lecture. But either way, time is not as linear as you think, nor is the sage smoke. Are you already getting sage in Utah?
Yeah.
Okay, close your eyes and ask for flowers. It could be cologne, perfume. It could be the cooking smell of chili. It could be anything, fireside feeling or hot toddy. I don't even know what that is. But catch something and get extra. Ask angels to make it nice at home. You could put your hand out. This could be considered plant medicine, but it's really just energy, love, and angels and the universe. And even the sage itself is more conscious than you'd give credit for. What'd you get?
Dill.
Wait, what?
Dill, like dillweed.
Oh, dill. Okay. First ever with 400 tapings and then all this time in 15 years. No one's ever said dill. So that's going to go down. I will remember that. Awesome. And let's do one more thing. I'm going to show light on my fingers, but more importantly, you're going to get a dad joke. I told you the rainbow one just before we started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to get Santa's reindeer one, which if you are a regular of the show, you're saying oy vey right now. But this is a great time to put another comment down. Like if you smelled sage, do, I don't know, smoke, fire symbol, or just write sage. Got it. Plenty of people do that. And I try to put those comments up. I'm way behind. I'm going to show light on my fingers. It's just auras, colors, whatever, universal love. If you don't mind sharing what you see, you get the dad joke. When you laugh, you let go. That's why I do humor. There's 4 million ways here to get into here, and there's 40 million ways to not get into the heart. Okay, have some thoughts. Oh, and then I'm going to go wider and bigger. If you don't mind asking your guide, angels, and all your loving support, you have a big support squad to make something in there. It could be people have gotten flowers. We've had two red cardinals, two phoenixes. The woman who used to be on the national board of IANDS, Dr. Yvonne Quesan, who had the 5 near-death experiences up in Canada. This isn't coming out till January of 2026, but she just saw Jesus's face last week in it. So no pressure, but more importantly, I'll tell another dad joke when I'm standing up. And this is from Celestine Prophecy from the 80s, except that Sue Frederick from Arizona, who's a near-death experience person as well, said, now we were doing this in the 70s before the movie existed. In India, they do it this way. More importantly, here's the dad joke. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Why do Blitzen and Dancer drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. Catch a little bit of light in between the fingers. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. No, try. You're seeing with your heart. You're seeing with all of you at home. What are you seeing for a little wisp between my fingers there, Heather?
Oh, there's definitely some light.
Okay, and white's all the colors combined. The only thing bigger is rainbow light. I'm going bigger. Allow, 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 and now really let go. Let angels step in, and they sometimes make geometric, a ball, vortices, but also objects. Hummingbird, running buffalo is the wildest. What are you getting now for light in between my fingers?
There's like this golden glowing light, but it goes in a circle, kind of like this.
Oh, and if you want, you can scoop some of that up. Ask your guides and your favorite angels to make it extra for you. Pretend you're in the shower scooping water. Take some of it if you would. And I do this I've done this on about 5 or 10 shows. Scoop a little and bring it your way and just see extra light in your hands. It can be off camera, it doesn't matter. Just let me know when you got it. I stop here and you enjoy it in your hands. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you can bring it in for a hug. And you're going to get your next topic that way. So let angels bring in a hug, but you go, oh, I want to talk about this. So no pressure. Did you get an extra idea out of that light? Okay, what'd you get?
So it's one of the NDEs. Do you want to talk about that?
Please, yes.
Okay. So when I was there, I had my husband's grandmother who would come quite often, and she would sit and rub my arm and say, you need to live, you need to live. And I would think, no, I want to die. I'm in too much pain. And I popped out of my body at one point and found myself in, an area that held horses, like a horse corral type thing, a barn. There were a couple of horses, and I was in the middle. There was this rope on the ground, and I picked it up and just started pulling on it and just screaming at the top of my lungs. I was so angry that I kept popping back into my body and not dying. Just intense, intense anger. And I could see her in the room while this was happening off to the side saying, you need to live. And I was ventilated, so I couldn't say, no, thank you. Sounds terrible. But as I pulled and screamed on this rope, as I held it, suddenly all the anger left my body. And I had this sense that it was going to be okay and that I was being protected and that I didn't need to have that anger anymore. And it's like all the sadness and everything left my body and it was replaced by love and comfort and protection. And it changed my entire mindset at that point to fight, to try to become healthy again instead of just wallowing and waiting to die. So whenever I see horses now, I think, okay, hello, little buddies.
That's what I wanted to ask you about next is horses, taking a shower, gardens with flowers, even touching the earth. Did I say, if I didn't say trees, trees as well. Can you, I don't know how to say it. Is it like time slows down for you? You connect more?
Yeah.
Is it stretchy a little or not like drugs or anything, ecstasy or whatever, but can you put words to it and pick some of those? If you don't mind doing multiples, like horses and trees or flowers and shower.
So one that's a huge one for me is a sunset or a sunrise. And I hike every morning, like to give my day, I go hiking. And I probably stop more than most people because I want to capture it in a picture, but you really can't. But like today, especially, oh my gosh, the skies were pure pink. And for me, I slow down and I stop and I think, let me take this in and just feel the warmth and the energy from it. Whereas most people be like, oh, that's cool and move on. But I'm more present with God's gifts of nature now. When I see flowers, I want to stop and smell them and touch the soft petals. I'm definitely more immersed in nature now than I was before. I mean, I liked nature and I spent a lot of time in the mountains, but much, much different now that I crave that grounding feeling of being around all these beautiful creatures, and, the deer and the elk and the trees and flowers. So yeah,
And talk to
definitely.
us about the consciousness of trees and deer consciousness, or if you have been in the water with dolphins or just love dolphins, dolphin consciousness, how do you like to describe all that?
Yeah, I actually have swum with dolphins. It was really cool. Yeah, being in the water, it's like it makes my soul more alive and just I'm more me when I'm in the water. I feel like I'm back on the other side. And so I'm constantly trying to find ways to go swimming or go into the lakes or paddleboard or whatever, just to be in there. But all these creatures that we have, and I'm surrounded in my area where I live with, everything you can imagine animal-wise, um, just cute little squirrels and just deer and moose and stuff. To me, they're God's creatures, and I appreciate them more. They have a soul. We just think they're animals, but they have love and feelings in them, and they're alive, souls. And we just need to appreciate these animals more. So they just bring healing, I think. I don't know. Whenever I see a deer run by, I'm like, oh, every time. Never gets old.
Are they kind of holding the space for us?
I think so. Yeah. I think if we could read their thoughts and understand them, oh my gosh, they're much more intelligent than we give credit to, I think.
What about the biggest picture for mankind? Now, no pressure, and a lot of questions that humanity is discussing all the time are eternal. Put us in a cafe over tea 3,000 years ago, we're probably asking the same questions. But what's your take on mankind now? Are we ready for more compassion, kindness, gentleness, less rat race?
Yeah, I think so. I think there needs to be a lot of change. There's a lot of hate right now politically, and it breaks my heart. I actually don't even watch the news anymore because there's just too much out there of negative. We don't need that negativity. So what I would like to see happen is people come together more, kind of not as much in social media, but in person and develop friendships and spread more love in the world instead of finding what is different about someone. A lot of times we find, you're Democrat and you're Republican or whatever, and we can't get along. We're all children of, the same, we come from the same place. We're all the same, and we don't need to have that divisiveness. We can appreciate each other's beliefs, but I want to see more love in this world.
So the few times that I looked down, I was looking for this incredible Austin, Texas sunrise photo that It's looking like I have a whole flower folder. I used to do flower photography all the time with my gardens in Austin, but I did sunrises too. And I can't, it looks like a lot of stuff disappeared, but I'll find it. Um, I have a quote for you from Gary Zukav, Seed of the Soul. So one of the original, there was like an original wave of books, not the 70s, Seth, The Nature of Reality and those books, Light Being, but sort of maybe the 80s into the 90s, another wave of influencers, we'll call it spiritual. Gary Zukav. I have a quote I'd love to get your take, reaction, or what comes from it because there was the big picture we talked about, but then there's what we can actually touch in our ball of light or within
Hmm.
whatever this distance is. Um, Here's the quote. You change the way that you shape the light, which is flowing through you by changing your consciousness. What's that mean to you?
Oh, I love that. Kind of leaves me unable to talk for a minute. Yeah, I think if we're raising our level of consciousness with love, we're raising the entire world's, we're teaching the next generation to live differently, to appreciate more of what needs to be appreciated and focus on that more so than the rat race. I mean, my hope is in the future that there are more jobs out there that are more spiritual based, more friendship based, serving others instead of more about the money. To me, the money is not where it's at. It's about, friendships and services.
Can we pull in a few angels and maybe a religious figure, spiritual, divine figures? It could be from India, Jesus, Mary, Muhammad, Buddha, and you can do it your way, but this is going to be a big question. And so I'd love for you to do your usual diplomacy on the answer. And I'm going to go ahead and hold up a couple figures I know we've dealt with before. I'll at least put up Joy and Charlotte, two angels, and Archangel Michael. Okay. So I'm going to hold up three photos like it's a poker game and just say got it when you feel like you're locked in because you're good at this. I've seen you off camera doing this. Okay, so Joy, Charlotte, and Archangel Michael, just say got it when you feel like they're there, plus your own crew, plus any other bigger figures or more fun figures. Got it? You ready for the question?
Yeah.
Okay, as mankind, there's a certain element of mankind that's going for control, whatever, censorship, less free speech, less freedom of choice, less love, unlove. So like digital IDs and all this other stuff that you're hearing about. And without getting into those details, the more that's happening, how can people take heart and know that there's something else happening, like a higher frequency, higher vibration, a true shift for mankind that's details aren't maybe so important. Can you grab everyone plus your own wisdom now, earned wisdom, and pep talk us on the more it might look bleak out there in certain spots or this, that. No.
It does look bleak, but it's not. There's a group I'm involved with. It's called Living God's Light, and they've started this thing where all over the place. There's a lot in Utah where I'm at, but they're also all over. It's just groups of people that come together and they do like a potluck or they go hiking or different things where they get these people together and they start with maybe a meditation, food, because everyone loves food, but you just sit and you converse with people that you've never met before and get to know them and get to know their stories. And I've gone to quite a few of them that they've had, and it's amazing. You meet people that you wouldn't even think to stop on the street and talk to because you don't have any reason to, but their stories are just incredible. And I think we need more pockets of this around that kind of shut off the media and it's more based in presence. Um, yeah, just almost like cities of light or balls of light, where you're raising the level of energy in a positive frequency way.
Nice.
Yeah, like stop. And my thing also like stop dwelling on the negative and see more of the positive in life.
Where you put your focus is where you put it. How you spend your
Yeah,
energy is how you
yeah.
spend it. I'm going to put up the photo of Archangel Michael, though. And no pressure here, but you're great at listening. And this is just basic listening. You don't have to call it being a psychic medium, but you're going to, if with your permission, boomerang something you hear from him for all of us, addressing the same thing. What's Archangel Michael say for all of us? And if you don't mind actually feeling this all through your whole body, so you're getting it beyond words, and then you're boiling it down to words for us.
So the word I get is protection.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So you are protected, all of us.
all of us. I feel like it's swirling kind of that there's protection around us.
I love it. I did find the photo. I don't know how through an iPad through two screens here it's going to come out, but I'll explain what this is an Austin,
Oh,
Texas
wow.
sunrise. And did I
That is
get it?
gorgeous.
Did I get it on screen? Yeah, and I cheated. I turned the camera at some angle. I can't think exactly. I can't think right now. I even looked in the wrong folder. I'm looking in flowers for my cloud photos. Whoops. So go figure. But I turned the camera at an angle so that I'm chopping out the forest here and I'm cutting out the building over here to get this in that magic. There's like a 30-second, 2-minute window in the morning, sometimes in the evenings. And I had to, that's the first time in 400 recordings I've shown a cloud photograph, but I do have a cloud book or two out on Amazon, which I've never plugged. So go grab the book. Okay, you're not off the hook, and I've got more for you here. Why don't I give you a puff opportunity, though? I'm going to give you three quotes from everyone from Jules Verne to Winnie the Pooh to Eckhart Tolle to whoever, Einstein. And they're going to be random, sort of. I sometimes go back to the same ones. So if you're a longtime viewer, whoops, um, you can react to one, you can react to all three, you can just have your guide come in and you can punt. Um, we'll see what comes out. But here's one. I'll do Winnie the Pooh again. Some people talk to animals, not many people listen. That's the problem. And I'd add that's the opportunity for growth for us all. Here's another one. Everything you are against weakens you. Everything you are for empowers you. Wayne Dyer. And one more. I'm just randomly doing this. I'm not looking. Okay. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. Don Miguel Ruiz. First time I've ever brought that quote in. Which one resonates the most with you?
The third one, for sure. Yeah. So a lot of times we like say your friend doesn't call you back when you want them to or whatever, and you take it personally, you think they're upset with me. Maybe they have something going on in their life that is so heavy that they can't make that phone call. So a lot of times we take stuff personal that we don't need to. And if we shed that a little bit, it makes life a little bit easier for sure. And I've done it too. I think, well, they're upset about this or whatever, and it's not that. So we need to have more understanding and not put stuff in our head that doesn't isn't there yet.
Well, I like that as an even bigger topic. Let's talk about divine timing, that there's a real subtle, quite often sacred, special timing to something. It might not be the friends not calling at that certain time, but it might be other stuff, your expectations, da 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 da. Talk to us about timing and divine timing.
Okay, I have a good one for that. So when I was in the hospital, I had two children that would come to the foot of the bed, and I didn't know who they were. They were souls, and they'd come with a man sometimes, and I did not know for years who they were. They were two little blonde kids, and after I'd recovered, my husband and I decided to do foster care, and the two children that we adopted were the two children in the hospital, and I knew it was them. I mean, I could tell my family what these kids looked like, and it was very, very evident when I met these children that they were the children from the hospital years later. So they couldn't have come to me at the time that I was in the hospital. I was too sick. I had to learn to walk again. And I was pretty sick for a while afterwards. But when the time was right for them to come, they came. And it, of course, changed everything in my life. I became a mom. And that to me was one of those wow moments like, wow, these are the children. How amazing that when the time was right, here they were. Um, yeah, just incredible experience.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to put up an angel or a Native American chief or something. Just get a compliment, get a personal insight, get a hug, and then something that you can get for all of us. So here's an angel named Charlotte. She's everybody's favorite school teacher from third grade, third form if you're in Canada, with words meant to help you expand. She can look older in her 50s or 60s. What are you getting from Charlotte? Get something personal, get a hug, say got it if you could when you get it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, and then what are you getting from her to all of us?
I'm getting the word support, that we are supported in this life,
Hmm.
even when we feel alone.
I love it. Here's a Native American chief, unconditional love, spirit guide, wisdom with some humor. Dull Knife, actual historical figure. His original name was Morningstar, but Dull Knife is what he went by. What are you hearing and feeling from him? And also, could you do a little character description?
So I'm hearing that all the generations are involved in our life. It's not just the ones that are here now, but we go back generations of ancestors and they're all involved. And so for me, I see countless, countless souls everywhere. um, just watching over us. And strength. I see strength.
Groups and groups and circles of support and love. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting up a guardian angel, my guardian angel, but 80,000 other people. And I always plug episode 110, Dr. Karen Wyatt, physician retired, August 30th of 2024. She got to meet her on a beach in Redondo Beach, California for 30 minutes as a human. You can meet angels in human form. We're going to ask you about that in a little bit. Here's Min, only complex name out of hundreds. Lakota Sioux word for water, like Minnesota. You can see the silhouette. If you don't mind catching ocean, it could be Pacific, Baja, Hawaii, your lake that you like. Are you getting watery feelings at all?
Yeah.
Yay. You're welcome back on the show anytime. Okay. What's Min got for you? Get something very personal. You can close your eyes and get a vision if you want. And that way, one vision's worth 1,000 words. At home, you can put your hand out, feel her like a fireplace, but you're not going to get fire. You're going to get sparkle. You're going to get ocean. You get light waves of energy and water. What else? At home, you can ask a question, get an answer, pause us, and don't forget to put comments down. You guys are so shy. We're heading to 1 million views, I'm going to guess, by November, December, uh, yeah, on the channel. But people are super shy. That's okay. But we're not shy with Heather right now. What's Heather getting from Min for all of us?
So what I'm seeing is an ocean, but I'm seeing lots of tall, tall rocks and mountains around it. And I'm hearing the word insurmountable. What we feel is insurmountable, we can climb through. So if something's scary, there's always a way out of that.
Okay, I'm going to give you like a sushi menu, kind of a final figure here. Maybe one or two more later. But Mother Teresa, figures from India, Elvis, Debbie Ford. What am I skipping? Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, cultural stuff. Couple fairies, a lot of angels. Do you want an angel? Do you want, oh, have one to buy time. Here's Claire. She's resilience, clarity, and you should really, really like her.
Yeah.
She's very good with trauma and a lot of other stuff. Okay, if you don't mind putting your hands out like she's a fireplace, catch what you can catch on your palms. If you don't mind sharing an adjective or something for what are you feeling for her sparkle, her zip? How do
Bark.
you
Bark.
spark?
Yeah.
Okay, now what does she have as a very special reminder?
I'm feeling comfort. Like almost like she's scooping up the person, comforting them.
Okay, now do you suspect you've run into an angel at the post office, the coffee
Oh, yeah.
shop?
I think we
Okay,
all have. Yeah.
yeah, what's the way you like to describe it? Is it just their eyes? They said something that you were just thinking about? Can you give us one of those serendipity moments that you're like, ah, I needed that, and even months later you're still thinking about it?
Yeah. I talk about one of them in my book. I was driving with my daughter out of state and a vehicle flipped in the air and started like flying through the air and landed on the other side of the freeway on its side. And as we ran towards to help her, this entire crew came in that they were training for exactly that kind of disaster. They had all the right tools to lift her out of the vehicle before the ambulance came. To me, that was angelic because she was young, she was 19. She had a headwind, a pretty deep headwind. And if that crew had not been there, I don't know what would have happened. To me, that was definitely angelic involved in that. It was in Colorado and we were on, I-70, but it turned out so much different than if that group of people had not been right there. And also, when she landed on the freeway, she didn't hit anybody. She landed all 3 lanes sideways and no one was hit. So I could almost see like the angels pushing, making energy for her to land safely without hurting anyone else.
Well, I'm going to look for an angel named John, synchronicity, but I'm going to use a 1930s, 40s photo of a Hollywood actor. He's British. He was the number two highest paid back when Ginger Rogers was the number one female actress. So it's Ron Coleman I'm using the photo of, but this John does synchronicity. He marshals other angels to get stuff done. He doesn't have to talk about that accident, but I want to use this moment for you to connect. And I want to buy time as I find this. We have a Paul Sugar who's been on probably the most on the show. I mentioned him before the show wildly. He was in like Colombia or Peru in a little Volkswagen, tried to cross the stream that turned out to be a much deeper river, got sunk and stuck. And this is in the 1970s. There's no cell phones. He's going to be walking 5 hours to find a village. And a bigger than a van Volkswagen bus with like Volkswagen engineers with Volkswagen tools showed up, was able to tow it out of the water, fix it up even though it was soaked, and get them right back together. And when he did his listening, it was angels, but more galactic loving beings that just, it was total divine intervention.
No,
And I thought that,
absolutely.
yeah, I thought that was insane, but I thought of that immediately when you said it. And I don't know which episode that is. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Um, but people can check that out if you look him up. Okay, here we go. He's looking a little off camera. I'm using a historical photo. Historical photos will move. You can do Audrey Hepburn next, if I can remember. Here's John, and he's very dapper, very fun, very lighthearted. If you don't mind getting sizzled with a lot of love and a lot of inspiration, and a lot of like, ooh, I feel like I've been here before. Okay, you got John coming through loud and clear?
Yeah.
Okay, what's he have as a reminder?
I almost see him kind of like swaying and dancing and oh,
Yep, you're back. Okay.
okay. He's almost like swaying and dancing, and I hear the words have fun in life. Like don't take everything so serious. Like he's just kind of I see it.
I love it. Well, I mentioned Audrey Hepburn. Let her wink, smile, eyebrow goes up, shoulder waggle, full on angel. If you don't mind catching a perfume from Paris that's uninvented, but incredible, or Milan if you prefer. And let us know when the photo is moved. You'll only last a second or so. And have you got the perfume already? No try Yoda, always try Archangel Gabriel. And then she'll have a reminder for all of us. I'm going to blow through my microphone today and catch extra energy coming through. You get your movement in the photo, get your perfume. Okay. What's her reminder? She's half grace, half sparkle in the moment. What does she have?
Be gentle. Be gentle with ourselves.
Faded out a little, but we heard be gentle with ourselves.
Yeah, be gentle with ourselves. Give yourself grace. When you said grace, I was like, yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, give ourselves more grace. We're too hard on ourselves in general.
Okay. So here's the final interactive thing that I can think of today. Um, it's almost like we all have to learn to just let go, even though we had it as a kid. I'm gonna climb that tree, bam. I'm gonna do this, bam. Today it's like, adulting kicked in and a lot of other stuff. And I'm not taking away from anybody's reality. You create your reality vigorously. But let's let go a little. I'm gonna put my hands up in Texas. You're in Utah. Feel what you can feel, only chaperoned by angels, not my bill paying side. I'm going to go right back to after this is over. Thinking is not going away, unfortunately. You can just do a little less. As Charlotte said, that angel who's the blue ball light, um, 7% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal. Okay, but let's put our hands up and just let me know what you feel. This is 11 above. What do you feel first off?
I feel just tons of like sparkly energy.
Hey, I didn't do it. Blame angels, don't blame Canada. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna blow microphones down here. I'm gonna blow aloha. I don't know any better. Hawaii love, and I'm gonna whoosh and three times. The first one's just sort of a baseline. No two whooshes are the same. Let's pick an ambassador or two. We can have a chief in there. Here's these three for extra special effects. Okay, here comes the first whoosh. How was that?
Like
Oh, your microphone shot out, but okay.
moving, it felt like I was moving back and forth. Yeah.
Yay. Okay, we got you on tape on that one. So, okay, here comes the next one. I'm going to look more like a goose. If you don't mind picking a private area of your life or two, like, oh, on this front, my athletics, my this, my relationships, my business, whatever. And this is for people at home. Feel, feel, feel. And guess what? You're going to be doing this next solo to the crowd, chaperoned so that it's love and above only and chaperoned by angels for decades to come. Okay, so later you're going to whoosh out and we'll be receiving. I haven't had anybody do that yet. You're the lucky one who drew the short straw, or is it a long straw? Okay, here comes the next whoosh. And one dad joke, just to keep it light. Where do rainbows go? She's already heard this one, but she might laugh again. Where do rainbows go when they're bad? Prism, but it's a light sentence. Here we go. Different? How about them apples?
Suspended and swinging.
Okay, and then we lost you a little, but say it again.
Suspended and swinging. It felt kind of like I was swinging.
Yay. Okay, here comes the final one. And again, ask for this light to go quantum on you for the weekend for that book that is your second, third, fifth book in the hopper. So while I've got you fully open, here's Charlotte. She's great with this stuff, marketing. Close your eyes. Let Charlotte bring you two more books that you can see the book covers. You're not sharing anything out loud. Breathe extra at home. If your shoulders are going up and down, breathing. I totally forgot my only rule. And of course, we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. Uh, Ask angels to get you out of your head, into your heart, make it nice, own it with a thank you, Om Sai Ram, rock and roll, amen, whatever way is your patented way of letting go, setting your intent. And my unofficial rule is breathe through the mouth, 1 millimeter open with the mouth. Boom. You're more in your body and your field, outstanding in your field with sunflowers and violets. And it's like that 1970s stereo receiver, those big ones with the big knobs. You just turn it 2 millimeters, the music's blasting, and you're like, oh my God, but that's you letting love in. Okay, did you get all that?
Yeah.
Good. I've been dying to get you to do that. Okay, here comes the final whoosh. Ask for the 4th of July mixed with New Year's Day, Boxer's Day if you live in Canada, and all the rest. Lots of fun. Here it goes. Sparkles in the air, sparkles glitter. And for the audience, I'm enthusiasm. You got to take me with a grain of salt, but you don't have to hold back on love. Heather, what did you just get?
Just like this whoosh, whoosh of energy and love. Yeah, that was cool.
Good. Okay, now, who's your favorite angel of the moment? Not the one, you don't have to go on the island for 1 month with them, but maybe you wouldn't mind. Is it John? Is it Charlotte? Is it Joy? Is it Claire? Is it Michael? Who do you want me to hold up for supporting you? You're about to do a whoosh one
Yeah.
way out to the crowd. Who do you want for extra love and support? Is it Joy? Who do you want?
Let's see Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte. Yay. Have her give you two private instructions. It could be just like, you got this, kiddo, and you already know what to do. Got it?
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. I'm your immediate, I'm just sitting here in Texas and I'm doing this. But audience at home, if you need something to do a chubby checker, get out of your chair, throw those hips back and forth. If you're at the supermarket watching on your iPhone, it's okay. Do the chubby checker. If everyone's laughing, you did it right. And if you're laughing, you know you just shared love. I mean, that's what I'm talking about is rub your hands in a circle, throw finger paint, anything you haven't done in 30 years since you were two. Okay. Go ahead, Heather. Let some love fly to everybody. This is what you're going to be doing, and you already are doing. You're sharing your love with everybody. And let's have you do a whatever this is called, energy love flowing. Exactly. See, you already know the techniques here. Okay, so do it any which way and loose, and let us know how it felt afterwards.
Very freeing, like letting go. Yeah.
And if you don't mind making a request to angels, you're not sharing it out loud. It could be something though in the next show you're like, I made that request and then this happened. Okay, so make some sort of a request and just say, did it.
Okay. Did it.
Okay, so look, things seem really real to people. They are stressed out about that cubicle at work on the third floor. They might work on the second floor. They might be right next to that cubicle. They hate that person, or they're reacting all the time, or they just hear the way they talk and they're reacting, or it's the neighbor, or it's the way it's working on TV. How is that an indicator that there's room for growth? And how do we take things less seriously up here and get back to basic living and loving?
It's funny you said that because I keep hearing no one's getting out of this alive. Live hard or live loud. Yeah, we just take things too seriously sometimes. So sometimes I'll get in my car and I'll turn on rap music as loud as I can and just belt out at the top of my lungs.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we need to take more moments to, like when we're children, we're more happy and go lucky. Sometimes we need to find little moments like that where we just feel childlike in a way, or we let go for a minute and don't worry about the cubicle that's bugging us.
I have a final angel for you. No photos, but she's. Has anybody ever seen that Uncle Sam poster from the 1930s? We want you. Okay,
Okay.
so she would be the Hallmark angel. Her name is Angela. I was going to say Angela in French, but there's Angela, Angel hyphen A, the movie. It's on my website, suggested reading by Luc Besson. Great black and white guardian angel film. Oh, and then there's Lucky Partners with Ron Coleman. We used him as John from 1944, years before It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's the best guardian angel movie ever. That's on my website as well. But Angela, how do I say it in English? Angela. She's a hallmark, like fairy godmother, but without the fairy wand and not a fairy godmother, but totally in white, classic. I want you to have more love, fairy angel, poster person of it. If you don't mind just putting your hands out, closing your eyes, let Angela come in. This is like the second time most in 400 recordings. She does not get used at this end enough, and you're the right person for this. She is so wonderful, and feel her come in. And there was somebody who was her guardian angel. I'd see the person at Target, and then they would do snow. She would do snowflakes all over the place. So Target is not getting snow inside the building, but the person who is the ward who has her as a guardian angel would see snow everywhere, start laughing. It would be like a snow globe. If you want the snow effect in Utah, fine. If you want to get a lot of laughter, she's just this incredible, radiant angel. Did you already connect to her?
Yeah.
Okay. What's Angela's reminder for us all?
This is going to sound weird. Don't be so cold.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, we're giving the cold shoulder to a lot of stuff we're not paying attention. Okay, let me think how I do this. Oh, you've got a lot of experience. I mean, you've got how many here? I'm going to out you.
Okay.
What do the angels say? How many lifetimes technically have you already lived in this one lifetime? What do they say? 2.5, 15? What's the answer?
Oh gosh, I hear seven.
Okay. So now, one mantra only. You're leaving us with some sort of wise expression. You got to repeat it 3 times. This is a chance for people at home to do this and whatever, and do the hokey pokey before they do it. They can put their hands out and feel what they can feel of your energy. Again, love and above only, or chaperoned by angels. What do you want to say as like a mini mantra, a reminder? It could be, I mean, people have said, I am love, I am love, I am love. You're going to repeat it 3 times to give people a real chance to, it's like being in a vineyard and they have that tasting area and you just take a sip of the best wine ever. So they're going to feel this energy as much as hear you talk. Do you have your mantra?
Yeah,
Okay, what is it?
we're all one. We all come from the same cloth, really. So we're all one. Do we repeat it? Yeah, we
One
are
more time.
one. We are all one.
Thank you very much, Heather, for being on the APL Spotlight series. Look for her again in 2026, but if she's gung ho, you'll see her again in like November, December, whatever angels say when we get off. We're going to get her right back on whenever she wants to come back on. You've been amazing. I want to thank you for being so open and taking so many steps and sharing so much. So thank you, Heather.
Thank you.